Hi, Diamond Girls. What do you do when you feel like leaning back is no longer working with your man, or maybe leaning back has never worked with men, and you think that you might actually be pushing men away instead of using your feminine energy and leaning back? Well, in this video, I am going to teach you how to lean back the right way. I've got some wonderful notes for you right here. They might appear backwards, I'm not sure, but I'm going to share exactly how to lean back with men, with your guy, with your husband, and learn how to receive in your feminine energy and learn why it's so magical and why this works so well, but the things that women are doing where you get it wrong. So I'm going to help you out with all of that. First off, let me introduce myself. I'm Adrienne Everheart. I'm a feminine energy dating and relationship coach. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and be sure to follow me, get those notifications, because otherwise YouTube will not play my videos. And I have a lot of videos out there that you probably don't even know about because YouTube is just changing how they work things. They want you to pay to play these days. So take a moment, just follow me, subscribe. Let's see what magic can happen in your life with your relationships. I've helped myself. I've helped thousands of other women become happily married and have wonderful, fulfilling relationships. And I will help you as well. So let's understand what leaning back is. Leaning back is based on the concept that when you are in your feminine energy, which is a warm receiving energy, this is not doormat energy. This isn't let a guy walk all over you energy. It's actually a receiving energy that invites men towards you. And I love how this works, especially when you have an aha moment where you're like, oh my gosh, that just happened. This guy pursued me, or this guy came out of nowhere to help me, because you really understand how magical and natural feminine energy is. And again, this is regardless of your gender. We all have feminine, we all have masculine energy. We also have a neutral energy. And you might notice, like if you're in a parking lot late at night, you might go into more of a protective, masculine energy, maybe even a more neutral energy. And let's say if you're in that same parking lot and you need some help loading a heavy bag into your car, you might go into a little bit of more like, I wish someone could help me. I wish someone was here. And you're creating that space to receive from someone. So now you're in your feminine energy because you're in that receiving energy. This is why men don't want to ever stop and ask for directions, because they go into that feminine receiving energy instead of that masculine energy. So give me a thumbs up on this video if that's already helping you understand how feminine and masculine energy work and why it is so important that you pay attention and understand what I'm here to teach you. And the great thing about this process is that as I'm teaching you this, you'll begin to think about things in your relationship, things in the past, and you might even get a vision of your future where you see how things could unfold and evolve in a more loving, peaceful way. You'll begin to feel that, and you'll begin to feel a lot happier and safer and warmer in your body as a woman and in your relationship. So I just invite you to allow that magic to happen. That's what I'm here to teach you about. So leaning back is creating space for that man to pursue you. Now, what if you have gotten this confused and you're doing something different other than leaning back, and you're coming to me and saying, leaning back is not working for me. It does not work. A couple of different things could be happening. I'm going to go over a few of them. The first one is avoiding. Are you actually avoiding this man and believing that's how you lean back? So for example, he has texted me 3 times. I'm not answering because he hasn't said what I want him to say, and I'm leaning back. That's not leaning back. That's avoiding. That's avoiding a man. Now, another thing you may do is play games. So you might have an idea in your mind of like, I'm going to lean back. I'm not going to answer him until Friday. Or I'm going to, create some sort of situation or experience where he thinks another guy is calling me, and I'm just going to lean back after that. That's not leaning back. That's playing a game. That's strategy. It's manipulation. It's playing a game. Now, here is what leaning back really is. It's authenticity. It's your natural feelings. So often, if I'm helping a woman in a getting back situation, for example, or I'm helping her reconnect with her husband or her partner, and she's felt so much distance, she'll ask me, Adrienne, isn't what you're telling me to do leaning forward? Isn't that pursuing him? Recently, I had an interaction with a client who very much loves a man, wants to be with him, but he broke things off with her. And he really took his time doing it. And I could tell there was a lot of hesitancy on his part. And I asked her the things she had been doing prior. And she said, well, when he texted me, I made sure to wait 3 days before I wrote him back. And then when I wrote him back, I just sent him one sentence. And when he didn't respond immediately, I waited even a few more hours before I responded because I was going to lean back. I said, this isn't leaning back. This is playing a game with him. This is avoiding him. And he can feel that in your energy. Men will pick up on a game being played faster than any other creature there is, other than maybe a cat. Men will feel that you're playing a game with them. So what I teach you to do is be authentic. Truly find your natural feelings. Now, here's the big difference. There's finding your natural feelings, and then there's pursuing and acting on your impulses. So let's understand pursuing versus leaning back, letting things unfold, versus this is how I truly feel. What is the difference, Adrienne? Let's take the example of a man breaks up with you or he walks away. Or a man you really want to date just isn't calling you back. He's not getting in touch with you as much. So you might think, if I send him a message that says, hey, our past few days felt really wonderful, would be great to see you again. Is that leaning forward? No. If that's really what you feel and it's authentic, and it's not like, why didn't you reach out to me? What did I do wrong? Just give me feedback. I want to understand. You're not coming from a defensive place where you're pursuing him with masculine energy. Now you're in your feminine energy. You're being authentic and you're sharing your feelings. Felt lovely to spend time with you. I really liked connecting this past week. I'm just curious where things are going with us. I haven't heard back. Is there something I should know? You're asking very kind and loving and authentic questions to this man. Now, here's what pursuing would look like. You send him that message. He doesn't respond. So you send him 2 more messages. You show up at his work. You stalk him on social media. Yes, you can pursue a man without even texting him or speaking to him. You can pursue him, and he can feel that in your energy that you are pursuing him. Now, I want to take a couple of your questions about leaning forward, pursuing, avoiding, and the worst one of all, following a rule. It never fails. I get someone who said, I read the book, The Rules, or I'm following a rule and I'm doing all the rules. I'm like, there is no rule. There's what you're feeling and there's what's happening to you. All right. So we have a question. Go ahead, pop in, ask me some questions. I want you to know also, if you enjoy having a live stream with me, I have an online coaching group. And I also have some courses, but in my online coaching group, it's private. I offer weekly classes, coaching, connection, and community. So come on and join me at iHeart Love Academy. You can spend a whole year with me learning all the ins and outs of feminine energy, getting you on track to your happily ever after. I'm going to take a sip of water. And we're going to move on to a couple of questions. Every time I express feelings with sweetness like that, I'm usually ghosted. Excellent. This is what you want to have happen. The only thing we want to change is what you're telling yourself. So right now, when you say that, every time I express feelings with sweetness, I'm usually ghosted. So I want you to pay attention to your language and how that language feels. Is that really in alignment with feminine energy? You might go, well, that's the truth. That's what happens to me. But I want you to switch this up. The men I express my authentic feelings with have left so far. There is a certain type of man when I express my feelings to him and I want to know where we're going, or this past few dates have felt lovely and he never calls again. That sort of man exits my life. And thank you, God. Thank you that this man leaves me quickly when I become authentic. When I'm authentic, he leaves. Thank you, universe. Thank you. This is a good thing. We want those men to get out of the way. What I'm concerned might be happening to you, and correct me in chat, is that you're actually feeling some regret, some rejection, some grief that these men are leaving once you express your natural feelings. And if so, you're telling the universe, that's the type of man I want. And that is what the universe will give you. That's what your energy will give you. So I want you to try something different and try to voice that differently. We have another question. I'm nice to men and easily compliment, but in this day and age, it's read as easy when nice. What to do? Okay. So I have a really popular blog about how feminine energy has nothing to do with niceness. And we've all heard how the man loves the explicitive word about women. So being nice has nothing to do with feminine energy. This is about authenticity. Okay? I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm going to be authentic. Maybe you're really not the nicest girl, like nice, like whatever nice is supposed to be. I will admit, I'm a little harsh. I'm kind of straightforward. But when you meet me, you would think I'm this soft, feminine energy creature because I'm just authentic. So how many of you have a grandma or a female figure in your life that they're a little bit harsh? They can be strong, but when you're with them, you feel grounded and supported and secure. And it has everything to do with just authenticity. So I want you to think about that. And easy is about falling into bed with someone, being polite and kind and warm and open. Now, I will tell you, when I first started doing this and being polite and warm and open and things like this, it never failed. The first type of men I would attract were like down here. Nothing against the homeless or those who are home insecured, but it would always be the guy outside the CVS hanging out that would say, hey, beautiful lady. Hey, beautiful lady. And he would be the first to pick up on that energy. And I'd be like, don't stop now. You got your first one, noticing. Keep going. And by the end of the day, some gorgeous guy, some gorgeous muscle-bound guy is letting me cut in front of him at Whole Foods in the checkout line. So keep going in energy. Don't give up on that energy. But the first men you attract in that energy are sometimes like down here, because that's where our energy is. I have another blog where it started with the vagrant guy outside CVS. And then I went to the car wash and the guy was like, Miss, can I help you wash your car? And he was like, you're looking beautiful today. And I'm like, Jesus, I'm putting out my feminine energy and this is what I'm attracting. Keep going. You'll keep moving up. Trust me on this. All right. We're going to go back to our friend here. She says, it feels as if as soon as I open up, I'm no longer interesting. Okay. What it feels, is it a reality? And if that's the case, thank you, universe, get those men out of my life. If I open up and these men reject me, do I want these men in my life? No. So thank you. I'm learning the first thing I want to do. There's no if. When I always open up, I am always authentic as much as I can be, that I'm comfortable with. I want to do it as fast and as soon as possible to get these jokers out of the way. Authenticity, I say, this work begins and ends with you, right? You said, sometimes I'm generally just expressing a feeling and it seems like the fantasy in their mind shatters. Excellent. We want that fantasy to shatter. You are not a fantasy. You are a real, live, red-blooded, beating heart in your chest woman with a soul and a purpose and a wonderful, beautiful presence on this planet. You have every right to express your feelings, loving thoughts, niceness, sweetness, observations, warmth, whatever it may be. You can, good times, bad times. I do help women get in touch with a more positive flow whenever possible, because it's our mind's natural tendency to gravitate towards the negative. And women, I think especially, we're looking for things to go wrong or things that are wrong. And that's part of protecting and caring for children, is that we're going to see what's wrong. So just keep that in mind as much as you can. Steer towards the positive. Oh, look at that butterfly. Look at how green the grass is today. Notice the beautiful things. Oh, this warm sunshine feels so good on my skin. Get inside your body. Share that with a man. So, side note, what do men love to do with women? Give us orgasms. Why? Why do they want to watch us have an orgasm or give us an orgasm? Because they want to know they're making us feel amazing. Have you noticed how crazy men get when you're having an orgasm? It's because you're feeling good. And they are like, oh my God, I'm making her feel good. Now, bottle that and put it into everyday experiences, and you'll have men falling at your feet everywhere you go. Because you're letting a man know he's participating in a woman feeling good. And it doesn't matter how old, how young, what you think about yourself. You let a man know he's making you feel good, and he will eat it up. No matter what age of man, they love it. All right. That is the secret. That's the secret sauce right here. A quiet passion. She said, I think it's really about your energy intensity. If your energy is light and expansive, people would love to be around you. I mean, yeah, I think that that's a great, thing to share, is expansive and light. At the same time, authenticity. Maybe you're not the most expansive and light person. Maybe you're just, you're still kind of figuring out what to say and what to think and how you feel. Recently, I went out with my husband to a show, a rock show, music show, and I was meeting several of the people in the band, and I kind of didn't know what to say. So I just kind of would say hi, hello, and just stand there. And I would feel that little moment of awkward tension, but I just smiled, and they would take over and start speaking. I wasn't leaning forward, making the conversation happen, pursuing the man, So you got to get used to something new is going to feel awkward. It's going to feel awkward for you, and embrace that part. Okay. Authentic. That's who I am. We are kind and fun. I tend to attract married men. However, I learned to put up boundaries, especially when they think I'm polite but firm. For sure. So married men might be in a situation with their wife that the wife has lost that warmth. She's lost some of that ability. I work with married women all the time who are like, why is my husband rejecting me and no longer speaking to me and avoiding me? We got to open back up that warmth and that authenticity and the barefoot girl running in the park. That's your energy. He didn't fall in love with you because you were a powerful businesswoman and because you were always telling him how to fix his life and fix himself. He fell in love with you because there was something magical in those early days, that softness, how he brought you coffee and a croissant in bed, and you were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. That's what he fell in love with, right? And also, Filipina, I want you to say, I tend to attract married men often. So you hear that? I tend to attract married men often. I want you to just change that into, I attract single, available men who are seeking a relationship, a loving, long-lasting relationship. All of you right now, I am seeking a loving, long-lasting relationship with an available man who wants to have marriage, children, happily ever after. I now attract available, emotionally available men to me. And also add in with addictions, with no addictions of any kind. Even if he has a past addiction issue, we want you to attract men who are healthy and dealing with that. Okay, so here's another one. I know y'all are venting, keep venting, but I want you to begin to change this from whatever's in my energy. I'm attracting F-boys or married men. We're changing that right now. So say that statement with me, okay? All right. Here we go. I attract single, loving, and available men who are kind and serious to me. They are healthy-minded. That you're off to a great start. So how does that feel for all of you right now? Do you understand a little bit more about this very long word called authenticity and how it relates to leaning back? Before I go, I want to talk a little bit about natural feelings. Because your natural feeling, let's say an ex is broken up with you, your natural feeling might be to I naturally want to call him 10 times and I'm going to drive past his house and I'm going to confront the girl that I know he's been talking to on social media. That's my natural feeling, Adrienne. I'm going to go do it. All right. But is that truly you? Is that truly your higher self? Or is it the version of you that wants to pursue a man? And I don't care if you want to pursue him because you love him and you want him back and you can't handle the pain of the breakup, which is deep grief. I had a podcast that came out today about if you want your ex back, we've got to get you back first. I think it's episode number 116 on my podcast, if this podcast is for women. Or if you want revenge. If you want revenge, that's a great way to sidestep grief and go pursue a man. So for those of you, I feel there may be a few of you that needed that message. I wanted to include that. Anya says, and Jeannie says, I feel sad and regret dating more than one man and why the relationship didn't work out. And it's not letting me be in my soft, natural energy all the time. So what you're feeling is grief. And it took my house burning down and losing everything I owned, except the nightgown I was wearing, to understand that the work I have been doing for years with women was grief work. This is about grief, sad, regret, and I'm out of my soft, alluring energy. So everyone wake up for a minute and realize there is going to be grief even in going on a date with one man and you were really hoping it would work out and looking forward to it and it didn't. You're going to feel grief and process that. Process it from your head to your feet and sit with it. This is part of you and your natural feelings. This is you on the way to finding your authenticity or actually being in your authenticity because you're allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling. So what if instead of standing in the way of that feeling, we embraced it as part of the process? For every beautiful tree that grows and lives to be 500 years old, it also dies. For every human born, beautiful baby, we also die one day. This is part of the process of life. A date comes into your life, beautiful, I want you, it's gorgeous. They also disappear. And this is part of the process. Now, we can't get too bogged down in the grief process, but understand, if I'm feeling sad, you're in your feminine energy because you're feeling, and you're not avoiding it. You're not playing games. You're not pursuing, which means I'm going to act on a different feeling to escape this feeling, and I'm not following any sort of rule. I'm going to give myself time and space to honor my feelings and feel my grief. Oh, this is a great question. How do we know what type of energy we're giving off? Any tips on how to recognize your energy? Trista, yes. How do you feel? How do you feel? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? So it never fails. If I'm in a weird space, I will attract weird and strange people to me. It never fails. I will be the person that sits on the plane next to the person who's bananas and wants to talk loud, and it never fails. And so when I'm out and about and I see something cuckoo or something weird starting to happen around me, I'm like, what am I thinking? What am I saying to myself? And sometimes I will actually sit in my car or before I leave my house and say a few affirmations to myself, deep breathe, center myself, and get myself into better energy. Even if you're driving on the way to your therapist's office and maybe you're really upset and you're thinking about your problem, that's when someone's going to run a red light right in front of you, or you're going to follow too closely. So watch where your mind goes, where your feelings go, and decide how you want to feel. Decide how you want to feel. So we're processing, we're letting a feeling flow through us, but we're also saying, okay, I'm honoring myself, I'm honoring that feeling, but how do I want to feel? And then we're going to go in the direction of that feeling. All right. Nicole says, I'm learning to not worry so much about things that are outside of my control and not blaming myself so much. Leaning back is definitely something I need to start doing more. Brava, you're getting it. What is in my control? What is out of my control? Control is an illusion. If you're ever angry, you're trying to control something. Any amount of anger is control based. So just some food for thought there. Y'all are just really asking some great questions. I'm going to take one more, and then I want to leave you with this. Learn all my secrets. Learn everything I have to teach you. I have an ebook. It has been life-changing for so many women. It's called 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. See it in the links below. Join my online coaching community. A lot of people don't want to be part of a coaching group because they think, oh, it's like, I have to participate every month or whatever. No, it's there for you when you need it. Weekly classes, recorded classes, whatever you want. It's support for you during this time. You can have what you have right now for less than what it costs for one coaching hour with me. You can spend a year with me. Valian said, a man broke up with me a week ago, and today we met and talked about it. He told me he couldn't deal with the pressure he felt from me, and that's why things ended. So my question to you is there any truth in that? Were you giving him some sort of pressure, or did you want to be in a committed, loving, long-lasting relationship, and that guy couldn't do it? He just couldn't do it. You wanted regular dates. You wanted commitment. You wanted to meet his family, his friends, and he just couldn't do it. Don't take this BS excuse. Yeah, he couldn't handle the pressure of actually being in a real relationship. And of course he feels lighter that the pressure is gone, but he still wants me in his life. I've heard that song and dance a million times over. They want it their way. The man wants it his way. He wants you in the relationship on his terms and wants you to forget about what you're feeling and you're needing. He wants you in the relationship on his terms. So go to my website, get FEM Tools for Dating. It stands for Feminine Energy Mindset Method. Learn how to date in the direction of where you want to end up, right? I'd love to hear from you more about this topic because my hunch is you wanted commitment and regular dates and he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. Okay, last question, and then I'm heading out. Is it necessary to be in receiving mode? I mean, even when you're not in a relationship or dating, I just want to focus on my career and future. I'm in my mid-20s. Learn receiving mode. Learn it now. use it at work. Be in your feminine energy. So women often ask me, they're like, should I be in my feminine energy at work? So think about it this way. Forget feminine and masculine for a minute. What are you feeling in your body? What are you feeling in your gut? Is there a coworker or manager breathing down your neck? How does it feel? What are you doing to resist feeling that way versus just actually feeling that way? And then seeing what it is you need. So that's receiving. We're not pushing against, we're receiving, we're allowing. Right? So yeah, focus on like I can give, I can pursue, I can offer, but I'm also going to be open for receiving, especially when someone stands in front of you. Just receive, create space, especially in the career world where people want to take you under their wing and teach you things and teach you how to do something. Receive. Read the 48 Laws of Power. Don't outshine the master. Focus on that one, and you will learn so much more about receiving. All right, we're closing out with Valiant again. Unfortunately, I put pressure on him. He was dating me regularly. He was introducing my friends. He was inclusive in my life. We were together for 4 months. So where's the pressure? What was the pressure? Please let us know before we go. So real briefly, I mentioned 48 Laws of Power. It's a great book. I think it's Robert Greene. Don't outshine the master. That is the best lesson in receiving. When I first went to work, I wanted my bosses and everyone I was with to know how smart I was and how capable I was. When in fact, if I would have leaned back a little bit more and been like, yeah, I know how to do that, but if you want to show me, I'll listen, I'll learn. I want to learn everything from you. Then they're like, oh, I have a little birdie to take under my wing. And then they're like really into that. They want to help you. They want to show you the way. That's receiving. It's a brilliant, brilliant way to receive. Okay, Valiant, I don't know if we're going to get back to you. So we're going to see if she can solve the mystery of putting pressure. We're going to wait to hear back from you in the chat, my dear. Until then, I wanted to share a few things with you in closing. I have so many self-study courses where you can 500 ways to talk to man, learn all these scripts I teach you, and not just, be a parrot and say those scripts, but learn why those scripts work. Learn why men want to hear this communication. So early in the video, I talked about how this is why men don't want to stop for directions. This is why men have a difficult time getting someone to help them to do something, because they are in receiving energy and they don't want to be in receiving energy. If a man's in receiving energy during certain times, like romantic situations, or you're showing up and you're being loving and caring, there are times you're going to receive and both give. It's going to flow. Remember, there's no rule. There's no hard rule. There's just authenticity and natural feelings. If you get into people pleasing too much, then that guy's receiving too much. You're trying to do for him. You're trying to figure him out. You're trying to solve and fix things for him. And then he gets very accustomed to receiving from you and getting what he needs. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for attending today's live stream. Please take a moment, give my video a thumbs up, share it with a girlfriend who could appreciate it, and be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell button so you'll be notified when I go live. All right, otherwise YouTube won't show you my videos. Okay, so Valiant said, I wanted more texting. I wanted to see him more. We were meeting up 3 times a week. I wanted to plan a trip, and I felt rejected because whenever he was making plans without me, and he wanted to take things slowly. So you see, you wanted more time with him, and you said, pressure, can't do it. But that's what you needed. That's what you wanted. So he rather cut the head off and have no relationship, or have a relationship with you on his terms. My dear, this is what you need. This is called the terms and agreements, or the terms and conditions. If I'm going to be in a committed relationship with you, these are the things I need and desire. There's room for negotiation, But ultimately, and I don't know your age, but ultimately, where are we going? Are you falling into a girlfriend trap? Are you going to be a girlfriend for 3-4 years and then wonder why you're not married? And then he walks away when you want to get married. So you're onto something really good for this. Check out Fem Tools for Dating. And then if you have more questions, join my private coaching group. I'm here for you all, okay? All right, everyone. You're 38, girl. Tell me you're being very conscious about your having children, about if you want to have kids or not, and things like that. This is a very pivotal time in your life to be with a guy who wants to take it slow. All right? There's no slow, there's no fast. We're either committed and we're moving towards marriage, I'm engaged, we're getting married, or there is not. Right? So which is it? Right? There's no fast, there's no slow. We're moving in a direction. All right, my loves. Sending you lots of love today and always. And see you next time. Bye.